Novak Djokovic will not be required to get the COVID shot at Wimbledon. Now, you guys know I disagree with Wimbledon's decision to ban Russian tennis players. I don't believe that it makes sense to hold a person responsible for the decision that their country makes. In other words, an individual athlete should not be responsible for the choices that their country makes. That doesn't make any sense to me. So Wimbledon got that one wrong. But I do think they got the absence of the COVID shot correct. Remember, Novak Djokovic was not able to play in the Australian Open because he refused to get the COVID shot. I salute Novak Djokovic, also Kyrie Irving, Aaron Rodgers, and many other athletes who were willing to stand on principle and refuse to get the COVID shot because, tying this in, Kamala Harris has just announced that she has COVID. She got 2 COVID vaccine shots, and she's gotten double boosters. So Kamala Harris has gotten 4 different COVID shots. What did that mean that Kamala Harris immediately tweeted? It has become a total cliche. Kamala Harris tweeted, "Today I tested positive for COVID. I have no symptoms, and I will continue to isolate and follow CDC guidelines. I'm grateful to be both vaccinated and boosted." How many people that have gotten 4 different COVID shots or 3 different COVID shots get COVID and immediately say, "I'm grateful to be both vaccinated and boosted"? I had COVID twice, virtually 0 symptoms both times. I got the alpha version and I got the Omicron version. I haven't gotten the COVID shot. I was perfectly fine, like the vast majority of people who are not senior citizens, who are of decent health, who have gotten the COVID shot or not gotten the COVID shot. And by the way, this data should be getting more attention. Not surprisingly, it's kind of buried. But the CDC came out today and said 75% of all kids have COVID antibodies. I'll repeat that. Based on their data in February, 75% of all kids have COVID antibodies. That means that's not people who've gotten the vaccine. That's people who have already had COVID. Okay? So you talk about almost a 0 risk to kids. Whatever COVID numbers are out there, we are now talking about 75% of all kids under the age of 18 having had COVID and therefore having natural immunity. At least 75%, by the way, because some probably have already had COVID and didn't even know they had it. Should be a massive story, barely getting any attention at all. 58% of all adults were found in the CDC study to have already had COVID, including 64% of those ages 18 to 49. Means a lot of you out there have had COVID, never even knew that you had it, were perfectly fine. Alcohol was more dangerous in terms of deaths to people under the age of 65 than COVID was. Drug abuse was more dangerous to people under the age of 65 than COVID. I'll continue to say it. If you are a senior citizen, if you are in poor health, the data would reflect you need to get the COVID shot. Most of the rest of us are going to be perfectly fine. And now we have a massive reservoir of natural immunity, which would theoretically mean it's going to be harder and harder for COVID to spread in large numbers going forward.